This is VSiN, the sports betting network.
The numbers told the story, they always do.
It's one of those idiots who believe in analytics.
This is a numbers game with Gil Alexander on VSiN.
Friday morning, too. It is a numbers game at VSiN, the sports betting network, VSiN.com, Game Plus, iHeartRadio, YouTube TV, and of course, Sirius XM channel 158. This is a football Friday.
Yeah.
Football.
And football.
Gil Alexander, Kelly Bidlin, alongside. Yes, and international football. That's right.
See.
That's right. Paul Carr will join us, talk Premier League. But besides that, we'll do the domestic variety of football. College and pro with Chris Felica, college with Dr. Bob. I don't know, maybe he has a pro pick. I have no idea. And then anything that's on the mind, football and beyond with Steve Fezzik for Fezzik Fridays, Inside Football Fridays. See how we do that?
He does a lot. Steve, thanks for all the production work you do for your own segments.
Yeah.
We could give him 3 hours.
We
can just take Fridays off.
He's got an idea where he wants to go. Usually we just sort of wing it. He has an idea.
That's right.
Yeah, he has an idea where he wants to go. And then Kelly and I will give our thoughts, our knee-jerk responses, both from I should say in all kinds of ways, from an ATS, from a survivor standpoint, any which way on all these NFL games. Not the Wednesday whip around, but a Friday look. There's nothing better than a Friday morning talking football.
Oh, it's so good.
It's the perfect way to go into the weekend.
Gil, I started narrowing down million stuff yesterday too.
I submitted my millions.
Oh, did you play last night?
I did not, but after the game, I'm like, you know what? Let me just look at these. And so without the Steve Fezzik perfect information on a Saturday afternoon, I submitted.
How dare you?
Yeah.
I better text him right now to bring that up as a talking point.
No, he'll be very upset.
Okay, so it was easier for me than I thought it was going to be, I guess, which I'm reading from you as well, but I don't like any of them. It was one of those I guess this one. Well, I guess this one. Sure, this one.
Well, I mean, three of mine are, two of mine are guessing lines related, right? Because I'm still going ahead and buy it. So I got the best of the number on 2 of the 3 on Monday of the 3 games I isolated. So 2 of those are involved.
I laid it with the Falcons too, but me and you were betting 3 on the Falcons and laying 5.5 in the contest.
That's exactly right. So, and that's one of my megapod. I had the over in the game last night, which we'll get to here momentarily, and I'm taking the worst. Got the best of it on the bet, right? -3 on a game that's -5.5. What is now the worst of it in contest and megapod, but still feel confident about the Falcons. So that's the thing. You have to constantly shift your mind.
Yeah.
And then there's Survivor on top of that. So it's a whole thing. That's why we love it so.
Yep.
We love it so. You know we don't love so? The Cleveland Guardians. Go away.
Oh, my gosh.
Can't stand you people.
I forgot to text you yesterday. Scooble. How many times do I got to say it, Gil? How many times do I got to say he's just got to pitch the whole game? What are we doing?
Yeah.
But even when he left, it was 1-1, right?
I have an alt season under on the Guardians too, which, again, 87.5. I didn't think I'd even have to worry about that one. Now I have to even pay attention to that. Anyway, Guardians, by the way, best record in September, 13-4. To the game last night, National Football League. Sorry, that came into my mind.
Yeah, I was watching.
Buffalo beats Miami 31-21. They win but don't cover in a game that was fairly entertaining. 14-7 Buffalo. So Miami actually scored first on their first drive, and then Buffalo scored on both of their first 2 drives, got to the house on both of those as well. It was at this point, by the way, the second Buffalo touchdown was a Josh Allen flip of the football to Jackson Hawes. And then after a 3-and-out for Miami, Allen is feeling so good about himself, he's flipping the ball all over the place. He tried another pass like that on the subsequent drive, and it's just
I texted you right then too. I was like, I don't know about this whole Josh Allen running tonight. I'm betting live unders on the rushing, and I got burned on 1 run in the second half.
Burned on 1 run. So it's 14-7 for those who missed it, and then Matt Prater lines up because after a Miami 3-and-out, so Dolphins do hold, and Matt Prater's about to put the Bills up 10 points, and he proceeds to have the worst field goal attempt of his career. I thought this had to have been blocked, right? It wasn't just wide left. It was halfway between the goalpost and the stands. I don't know what that was. But
Gil texted that. I responded with, it might be the worst field goal attempt ever by any kicker.
So it made 14-7. We're in the second quarter. And, buoyed by that miss, Miami then goes 16 plays, 71 yards, which included, Kelly, 5 third down conversions 3 of which were to Tyreek for 19 on 3rd and 12, for 13 on 3rd and 10, for 7 on 3rd and 3, 2 to Jalen Waddle from 3 out, 14-14, 8 seconds left in the half. And Miami's got to be feeling good about themselves. By the way, then I don't know if you saw this because I was already turning to the WNBA game at that point, but Josh Allen had a pretty shaky kneel down. Did you see that? The ball snapped, he kind of bobbled it, but his second knee touched the ground, not his first one. And then he flipped the ball to the ref. So like Miami was a little weirded out by that, but it was in fact a kneel down.
Okay.
You didn't like it? You didn't think it was?
No, I don't know that I ever saw anything that for sure I felt like it was the knee got down.
Second knee was
But
down.
you're telling me second knee. I never looked at an angle where I saw a second knee.
So we're tied at 14. And again, I had Buffalo on 2 of my Survivor entries. At no point was I feeling weirded out by this, though, at all. Buffalo comes out second half, matriculate down the field, Cook in from 2, 21-14 Buffalo, early third quarter. Then after, Miami 3 and out, Buffalo 3 and out, again, another Miami 3 and out. Buffalo has to punt again, so the Miami defense is like showing up now. Miami, 4th and 4 at the Buffalo 36. 2 to Waddle for 15, then Achane for 14. 2 plays later, 2 to Tyreek from 5 out. It's 21-21, Kelly, with 12-18 left in the game.
And for the first time, kind of like you were saying earlier, for the first time in the game, I'm like, oh, this might be tight here down the stretch.
Honestly, I still wasn't there.
Okay.
Here's where I did get there. And then Miami forces a Buffalo punt again. And for these next 25 seconds, I was like, oh boy, this could be something. But guess what? It was only 25 seconds because Zach Sealer roughs punter Cameron Johnston. I mean, this is one of the 2 biggest plays of the game because you're about to get the ball back with a chance to go ahead, and instead you rough, not running into, by the way, you rough the punter. So it's an automatic first down. 5 plays later, Allen to Shakir from 15 out, 28-21 Buffalo, a little more than halfway through the quarter. So Miami starts at their own 37. They matriculate 2 more third down conversions to Waddle this time along the way. It's 1st and 10 at the Buffalo 21 with 3:06 left, and you're down 7. At this point, you're thinking, well, if they're probably not going to work out time-wise, but if they were able to milk it, would they go for 2 for the win at the end? Well, then how many people in the country go, there he is. Yeah. There's Tua. Tua stares down Jalen Waddle, who sits on the pattern, which is exactly what the pattern was supposed to be, but Tua's just staring at him. And Terrell Bernard just comes in and picks it and returns it 23 yards. I thought Bernard was a little weird. For those of us who had the over, I thought Bernard kind of nonchalantly went out of bounds. Turn it upfield, baby. Nope, just kind of went out of bounds.
That's a good. I didn't really think about that.
I was like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
So anyway, at this point, it's 28-21. Buffalo's in control, obviously. But for those of us who had the over at 50.5, it came down to the final sequence. Buffalo had a 1st and 10 at the Miami 35 with a 2-minute warning. So I needed 3 things to happen for the over. I needed Miami to get 3 stops. They only had 1 timeout at this point. I needed Buffalo to then 3 stops, obviously, without them getting the first down. I needed Buffalo to decide to kick the field goal, and then I needed Prater to make the field goal. Bing, bang, bung, winner.
Me and you both got so lucky on our bets yesterday.
Well, were we lucky, though? Because that looked like it was over for a long time in that game.
Yeah, until the third quarter hit, and it was like, put the brakes on.
Right, but I don't consider that a lucky win.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, I mean, believe me, there's
far
more fortunate wins.
Lucky finish, too.
For sure.
Yeah,
for sure, a fortunate finish that it all went our way.
I mean, I had the first half over. It was just as ridiculous because that Prater missed field goal. And I was like, oh, great, I'm going to need a touchdown by the Dolphins before the end of the half to get it over. And, of course, they score with seconds on the clock.
Just to give you an idea of the thin line between wins and losses, right? So we get the thin line of a win there on the over. And by the way, again, Miami does cover for Miami backers. My guess on guessing lines was at this point, it should have been Buffalo -10. There's your margin. But the thin line between winning bets and losing bets, our buddy Will Hill had 2 prop bets. He had Malik Washington over 25.5 receiving yards.
Okay.
And he had Tua Tagovailoa over 34.5 pass attempts. He had both of these. The final play of the game, Tua appears to pass the ball to Malik Washington to get 14 yards. Tua's sitting on 34 pass attempts. Remember, it's 34.5. Malik is sitting on just below 25.5. It looks to be a 14-yard pass play. And the result of that ought to be that Will hits both of those props on the final play of the game. It was a play that had no consequence to the final score.
Right.
But it was one of those, remember the Frank Wycheck Miracle City, was it the Music City Miracle play?
Yeah.
And remember how it was sort of an optical illusion? Everybody in real time thought, well, this is before your time maybe, but everybody in real time thought it was a forward pass, but it in fact was a lateral across the field to Kevin Dyson. This was kind of like that in a final play from scrimmage form, where Tua's hand actually was just inside the 38-yard line of Buffalo when he threw it, and Malik Washington actually caught it like at the 38-yard line. So it was correctly ruled a lateral, and so no Tua final attempt, no Malik Washington. Here's Mike Renner, our old buddy from PFF, who's now married by the former Bachelorette contender, Mike Renner, right? Mm-hmm. The tragic thing for the Dolphins going forward is that Tua's cap number is higher than Josh Allen's in 2025, 2026, 2027, and 2028. And this brings up what I've been talking about, which is I think Mike McDaniel probably saved his job by the competitive nature of that game last night. Maybe. But I keep going to the Dolphins are going to have to consider, right, if the losses pile up and this season is lost, they are going to have to consider what Denver did with Russell Wilson. Remember when Sean Payton was just like, this isn't my guy. And Denver took the largest 2-year cap hit for any player ever when they decided to move on from Russell Wilson. The Dolphins might have to do this with Tua. In a game that was filled with dinks last night, which we'll get to on the other side as well. Let's go around the league. In addition to that, game by game, our thoughts, ATS straight up. It's a football Friday. Week 3 in the NFL on a numbers game at VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
If you're serious about football betting, VSiN's got your weekend game plan. Fridays at 7 p.m., it's the Circa Friday Football Invitational. Saturday morning, VSiN's college football tailgate show at 9 a.m., breaking down matchups, props, and big-time bets. Later that night, join the football contest show as the sharpest betting minds give you their picks for Sunday's game. And Sunday at 9 a.m., lock in with Mitch and Paulie on VSiN's Pro Football Tailgate Show. Your final stop before kickoff. Check out the full lineup at VSiN.com and join us on the Sports Betting Network.
So, Paulie, have you had a chance to read the VSiN Daily yet?
Yeah, came in at 3 a.m. What's Bill doing up that late?
Well, rumor has it, it starts off with a 12-hour meditation session.
Then he just pours himself over film and live TV, really focusing and taking it all in. Bill's in with the biggest insiders, talking trade secrets, strategies, the whole nine, absorbing the info.
And then and only then can the writing process begin.
In Las Vegas, Bill's Late Night becomes your early morning. Wake up to the very latest betting insights in your inbox with the VSiN Daily. Sign up for free at vsin.com/newsletter.
Coming up on the next edition of Follow the Money Football Friday, we'll preview every game in the NFL and the marquee games in college. Chuck Edel, the Iceman, to give out his best bet sides and totals. Mike Somich as well. David Baker on Survivor and what he likes coming up. And Matt Vasgersian calls in. Who's going to win the AL MVP and all the postseason races? Follow the Money, 4 to 7 Eastern on VSiN. The Sports Betting Network, now Sirius XM Channel 158. Check out the website for all the betting tools and analysis.
A numbers game on VSiN, the sports betting network.
As the official horse racing partner of VSiN, First Bet is built for bettors who demand more. First Bet isn't just about placing a bet, it's about helping bettors of all levels with proprietary AI handicapping tools that provide data-driven insights to help you make smarter bets. First Bet's in-app tools give you win, place, and show probabilities for each runner so you can quickly and easily identify good value plays and improve your ROI. Who doesn't want that? Right now, you can take advantage of the limited-time $250 sign-up offer. To claim your bonus, use promo code VSiN250 when you sign up at the First Bet app or at firstbet.com. That's promo code VSiN250. Skill Alexander. We get tweets at Beating the Book. Y'all are the best. Best listeners in the game. Jacob Ellis, happy Megapod Week 3. Jacob is the guy from Wapisi Capital who always is making the AI animation for the Megapod. That the purple Todd animation for Wishnev Wednesdays is from Jacob Ellis. He made one of Drew Dinsick yesterday on the Megapod. It's great with a shot clock because Todd wanted to put him on a shot clock with his picks. Todd has no issue going after the guests. We invite these guests onto the Megapod. Todd's like, we're gonna have to give you a shot clock. Jason H11.
I get berated once a year I get invited on. I get berated for having to confirm what the pick selections are again. It's like, how do you not know this?
Aaron Schatz' greatest comment for the Megapod was, I'm going to have to get used to the rhythm of this podcast. The rhythm.
That's
the
a
ripple.
kind word, yeah.
Jason H11. Gilly, I want to commend you on your patience with Todd's interruptions on the Megapod. I was at a traffic light and scared the woman in the car next to me when I screamed, shut the blank up, Todd. Scott Barbrack at Urban Warfare 1. Happy Friday, boys. Happy Friday to you, Scott. What do you think about a symmetry pick? Kershaw's last start tonight. His good friend Freddie Freeman goes deep to support him, and in the process goes over his 21.5 homer total. And yes, I am holding that ticket. I totally guessed that you probably were holding that ticket with that tweet. Clayton Kershaw, by the way. I'm going to have to do this, not on a Football Friday, but I'll do this next week because Joe Pita ran the numbers on Clayton Kershaw. Clayton Kershaw gets dinged because of his poor postseason. But this guy, like, when you isolate his road stats career, it is just off the charts, unbelievable. We'll mention that on Tuesday, courtesy of Doe. And Chance,
did you think the timing was weird at all?
Oh, that he announced it now?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I guess he's not on the postseason roster, maybe, and so it's like, yeah, maybe it's time.
Okay.
I don't know what he was thinking. Yes, to answer your question, it's a little weird. For the fans, it was weird.
That's all I thought. It's kind of like, oh, okay. The Dodgers still have plenty of season left to go, but Kershaw's thinking ahead.
Yeah. Chance Copperpot. I could talk about the Beastie Boys endlessly. We did yesterday. Someone said it was pre-copyright for Paul's Boutique. Not exactly. I agree with you, Chance. I wasn't sure about that. He says samples were far cheaper, though. $250,000 for all on that album. That's it. $250K produced by the Dust Brothers. They had 105 songs sampled on Paul's Boutique. It's a classic, no question. Brian Schaefer, 31. They say betting is easy. I had a parlay. Waddle, 30 yards. Shakir, 20 yards. Both of those checks. Kincaid, 30 yards receiving. Check. Cook, 50 yards. Check. I guess that's rushing. And the final leg, Achane to 30. He ends up with 29. Loses yards on a screen pass early, and the final pass wide open, and Tua goes to Washington. Can we revisit that Will Hill thing again? He had both of those, which would have cashed on the final play.
That's
both
wild.
Of those.
That is wild.
And because of
sick.
like less than a half yard backwards, no, it doesn't work out. Indiana Jet, who was one of the 4 choppers of Survivor 2 years ago, he says 2 observations on the game. 1, broadcast ignored the fact that on the very first third down, Reek didn't seem to have possession before stepping out. And 2, Prater miss reminded me of when I bring my softball swing to the golf course. Yes, about what he's referring to on the first one is the very first third down conversion, or at least it was on the first drive. I think it was the first third down conversion. There was a 3rd and 4 to Tyreek Hill on the sidelines. And it appeared that Tyreek, I even had it in my notes, but I just decided to skip it here. Tyreek bobbled the ball, and it was unclear if he had both feet down. And not only did the broadcast not really linger on it, Sean McDermott decided not to challenge it early in the game.
So I believe as much of a mention on the broadcast as you got was the last look at the highlight before they cut back to the Dolphins about to run another play, and it was Herbie with I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, the play's going.
That's right.
But I also thought...
That led to the Dolphins' first touchdown, by the way.
So that was one, though, I was surprised there was nobody... Like, I don't feel too bad for the Dolphins when the Dolphins were so quick to go run the next play, right? Like, I don't know, like, that's consider calling a timeout. Like, McDaniel, start yelling at the ref. Like, there's got to be someone upstairs yelling at you to challenge it or whatever. Yell at these guys.
Right. Well, the Dolphins ran the next play because it got called complete. That's why the Dolphins ran the next play.
Right.
Yeah,
Sorry, the other side, yeah.
Yeah. So, anyway, the last thing about a couple things I want to say. The last thing I said about this was maybe the Dolphins considered doing with Tua what the Broncos did with Russell Wilson. I will say there's a couple major differences to that, right? One, the Broncos had a robust quarterback draft class the next year, and they ended up with Bo Nix. So if you identify someone in the next draft class as a quarterback you'd like to replace him, that's kind of part and parcel with doing that. I'm not sure if the Dolphins have. And the other thing is, the Broncos had the Broncos defense. The Dolphins don't have anything near that, to say the least. Can we throw up that next-gen stat, last thing on this game last night before we go game by game? The other characteristic of this game last night, that it was a dink fest.
Yeah.
From next-gen stats, if you guys have that.
Like, I knew it was, but like Danny told me this morning. I was like, I didn't know it was that bad.
Yeah, next-gen stats. Josh Allen, Tua Tagovailoa combined to average 1.5 air yards per completion, the lowest mark in a game in the next-gen stats era. That means since 2016. Allen attempted only one pass over 10 air yards, while Tua completed as many passes behind the line of scrimmage as past it, 11 each, powered by AWS Cloud. How about that? That's what the football game was last night.
You know what? So neither one of those is surprising to me, right? It's weird, and it's weird to see this in one game, but the Dolphins offense, they run so much of the motion stuff, right? Like, that's that. And then the Bills, man, the Bills the past couple years have just turned into, I mean, and there's a little bit you could say about this with the Chiefs too, right? We trust our quarterbacks, we'll take whatever you're going to give us, right? And there's so much running the ball, there's so much short stuff, so much trust in those guys. So it's wild when you put it like this, but like I went through that whole game not thinking it was like weird by either offense.
I would agree with you.
Yeah.
I would agree with you. I mean, I guess if someone asked me, hey, I would be like, oh yeah, I guess you're right. But it didn't really occur to me. Bill's defense a little shaky to you?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
That was probably my biggest takeaway from that game last night.
That's for me in Survivor. I used them in 2. I'm going to use them in some form next week and the week after, because week 5 is difficult in Survivor. But that was my big takeaway. I was like, I'm not going to have real trouble putting them in my rear view.
I'm also not going to overreact though, because we knew the Bills defense was not a top 10 defense coming into the season, and then Ed Oliver and Milano out.
Yeah.
Like we saw this last year when Milano was out, how much that affected that defense immediately. So I'm that's still my biggest takeaway, but I'm not trying to overreact too much.
But even in the preseason, we knew the secondary was shaky.
Right.
Let's go to Sunday. Green Bay Packers at Cleveland Browns. Green Bay down to a 7.5-point favorite now at Cleveland. What was my guess on guessing lines, Kelly? 7.5.
There you go.
All comes back to guessing lines. It is not a Survivor play for me. It is not, because there's other places to use Green Bay. I did not play this on the spread. Total's 41.5. You do have Green Bay and teasers left
this
and
is
right.
like, this is the difference we talked a little bit about yesterday, right? Contest brain and betting brain.
Yeah.
And it is, I've got the Packers tease left and right, but this is the excuse for not using the Packers now is because, yes, I agree with you. I think they're one of the better teams in the NFL. There are plenty of other spots to use them down the road. I love them as a teaser leg this week. I have them tied in 4 different ways. 4.
4.
Packers, you better win on Sunday.
Sunday morning, Jets at Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay down to a 6.5-point favorite. I am considering, as I mentioned in the Survivor segment earlier this week, with my remaining entries will be divvied up somewhere between the Seahawks and the Bucks. I will say this, that on the Megapod, on the Beating the Book podcast Megapod yesterday with Drew Dinsick as our guest, Will Hill, Todd Wishnev, and I, he is not bullish on the Bucks in this game. Let me just put it that way.
So I have cooled off as well. I think I'm going all Seahawks. The injuries that Tampa came out of that game with, they're going to be out of 3 starting offensive linemen in this game. They haven't even. I don't even think they finished calling up guys from the practice squad yet. Like there's like 8 offensive linemen on the roster right now going into this game. So they got to figure that out. I think there's major concerns there with Tampa. You got Ibuka missed time earlier in the week. We already know they're thin at wide receiver. So concerns enough for me that I think I'm moving off that game for Survivor.
Yeah, and by the way, for those of us who had a couple entries on the Bills, maybe that is the way to play the rest of them. Now that the Bills have won, you don't have to be so protective of
conservative,
of changing. Making sure that there's because you're not like if you had lost that last night and then you shoved, you could be out of Survivor entirely, but you won it last night, so maybe you do shove on the Seahawks. I added this as a contest play on this next one. I took the Rams plus the 3.5 points. Have not bet it yet, but I'm considering doing so. Rams, because I usually bet, in almost every case, I will bet my contest plays.
Yeah.
But Rams plus 3.5 at the Eagles. I took the Rams plus the points in millions.
It is one of mine in millions as well. I'm going to guess it is one of the most selected million side.
I think so.
Have you heard anybody on the Eagles this week?
Nope.
I've heard a lot of Rams love. I get it, though. I completely get it.
People love a hook.
Yep.
Rams, the team that had the best chance to beat the Eagles last year in the playoffs in the snow, had the ball with the chance to win it. Come back. We'll go through the rest of the games. National Football League Week 3 on a numbers game right here at VSiN.
There's no better time to join VSiN Pro. Right now, get started for just $9.99 for your first 30 days or save 50% off with an annual subscription. As a Pro user, you'll get our newly updated NFL betting guide as well as the college football betting guide, the ultimate playbook packed with expert picks, team previews, and best bets. Plus, you'll unlock exclusive features like real-time betting splits, daily best bets, and full access to the VSiN Watch app. Don't miss out. Head to VSiN.com/subscribe and join us on the Sports Betting Network. Get your edge this season with VSiN's College Football Betting Guide, exclusive to VSiN Pro subscribers. It's packed with 136 team previews, preseason top 25 rankings, and best bets from our experts. Pro subscribers also get the NFL Betting Guide, daily best bet emails, exclusive splits, and full access to our premium betting tools. Sign up now at VSiN.com/subscribe for just $9.99 for your first 30 days. Or save 50% with an annual Pro subscription and join us on the Sports Betting Network.
This is VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
A numbers game on VSiN, the sports betting network.
We are not the brightest individuals.
No, we're not.
We're not.
Our lights are, though.
We just stared right into the lights. Heading into the weekend, Brocco has you covered. Use code VSiN to load up your account with a 50% deposit match up to $100. Then take advantage of monthly cashback-style rewards that pay you whether you win or lose. With contests, free-to-play games, and exclusive event-based boosts, Friday's the perfect day to maximize your bankroll at Brocco. I'll spell it for you. B-R-A-C-C-O. Like Lorraine Brocco. Head to playbrocco.com today. Kelly and I were hearing funny noises in the ceiling, and so we look right into the lights. Now all I'm seeing is stars.
I don't even know how you did that read. I'm like, you hear that something rattling around in that light? Gil and I both look up at the same light.
Stare into the sun.
You guys can't see it. They're about 4 feet higher than where my hand is right now and brighter than the sun.
Sorry.
I'm struggling to see right now.
We stupid. Super Jerk has tweeted in. He said you had to go bring up the Memphis Nightmare. I think he means the Nashville Nightmare, Music City Miracle. That's what I'm thinking he means.
I think so.
He goes, thinking I'm the smartest guy in the world with the dog in the under in that one. Have a winning weekend, you bum. That's what he called me. He called it Memphis, but he's calling me the bum. Michael,
get it together, Super Jerk. That was not a valuable tweet.
It's right. Get it right. It's Nashville, not Memphis. Michael Salvino. I appreciate the quick and subtle old-school hip-hop references. Good luck this weekend. You too, Michael. And again, I apologize to some who are like, what's with this guy? It's sort of like, this is the first ever HBO show was a show in the 80s called Dream On. So before they went all dramatic from movies into like their own productions, there's a show called Dream On. It was a guy, and basically he thought in movie clips. He had watched so many movies as a kid that as an adult, all he did was remember movies. And so for me, it's sort of like the musical equivalent where I can't, unless I say it, it gets stuck in the brain.
Makes sense.
I'm amused on my side by what doesn't get noticed. So I play a little game about that as well.
You mean for me? Yeah, I got it.
Not only for you, from everybody.
Yeah.
All right, let's keep going. Early, Atlanta at Carolina, again on guessing lines. I can't say it enough. First reaction was, I can't believe this is only 3.5. I bought it to 3. It's now 5.5 in favor of the Falcons. And I ended up, this was one of my, I said it earlier, this is one of my Megapod picks still at this number. Because Carolina, think about Carolina. They got crushed by Jacksonville, and then they were getting crushed by Arizona till it felt like Arizona just sort of took the foot off the gas. And then Carolina played really well and again got the onside kick, had a chance to win the game. But I'm not sure I can give Carolina full marks for that. And Atlanta probably should have beaten Tampa Bay, could have anyway. And then they crushed Minnesota in a game that should have been even a bigger blowout than it was, quite frankly.
Yeah.
And the big surprise for me with Atlanta is we knew about the skill position players on offense, right? But it's the defense that has surprised.
Yeah, I'm still questioning that. I want to see if that. I think they have a chance to look good against the Panthers. Are they going to look like that for the whole season? That's a big question for me. Still, I don't know if I'm fully believing it, but it's been impressive so far. Got to get the ball in the end zone, right? That is something. You're right. That game should have been a bigger win for the Falcons last Sunday night against this Panthers team. I expect that they do. I have the Falcons as well on the side at 3 from open, and then I bet the over in that game as well, down to 43.5.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, expecting to see some points from these offenses.
Mr. Smarty Pants, me with all these CLVs this week. Well, this one is the other way. So no, I was not good on this one. Tennessee plus 3.5. I already bet it. It was one that I loved on guessing lines. Well, it's plus 4 now. I like it even more. And again, for me, this is just. You mentioned yesterday, Kelly, that Indianapolis, pre-flop line before the season started, that Tennessee was actually the slight favorite here.
Yeah, 1.5 if I remember. Yeah.
And for me, it's just sort of like, okay, I mean, I know Daniel Jones is the toast of the NFL to some. Colts, listen, they crushed the Dolphins week 1. They get bailed out against the Broncos with the leverage call. And then with Tennessee, listen, if Brian Callahan knows how to challenge a play and knows that 1 elbow equals 2 feet, if Cam Ward doesn't have balls dropped in the first game against Denver, that's probably a different outcome. And then they were beating the Rams in the third quarter on Sunday. So you give me the points, and now it's 4. I'll take them.
That would be nothing for me on this game.
And I did
lean to that side though too. I think week 3 you run into the problems of the both overreaction and underreactions, Gil. But that is, I think, very important to look at opponents so far and who you've played. And I agree with that completely on Tennessee.
And this is why, and we'll get into this later, this is why, like, it makes sense why dogs do so well in week 3. Mm-hmm. We talk about it, it was the old Dr. Bob preseason stuff, but we talk about it going into week 2. Some like, teams like get crushed. But really, after 2 weeks, everybody, football, so the recency bias is so massive because everybody watches football. So you look up, some teams are 0-2, some are 2-0, right? People don't, they don't take the extra second to think about, well, how did that happen? Often that simple.
And there's a reason why, like we question Drew all the time, right? Like at what point, NBA, NFL, whatever it is, at what point are you moving off your priors? There's a reason why they're still holding on to so much of it right now in week 3.
And all of this stuff with the NFL is small sample size. Right, all of it small sample. Raiders at Commanders, Northwest Stadium. I still have trouble looking at that. What? It's not FedEx? It's not RFK? It's Northwest Stadium? Sure. Commanders still haven't announced officially if it's going to be Jaden Daniels or Marcus Mariota. But it looks like, to me, if I'm reading the tea leaves, and that's fraught with peril, but I think it's Mariota because, again, this is generational trauma for Washington, man. It's like RG3 spraining his LCL against Baltimore in 2012, and then several weeks later he blows out his knee in the playoffs. I think if he's not 100%, sit Jaden. But I will say this. We talk about Kansas City being in a must-win situation at the Giants, not wanting to fall to 0-3. Kind of must-winish for Washington because it's tough after this. They got to figure out a way to win that game against the Raiders. I don't have a play.
Nothing for me either. I mean, look, I think I'll take the layup in millions if Jaden gets ruled in, right, and that line jumps back to 6.5, 7. I'll probably take it and play it in millions. But nothing for me either. It's still a lean to the Commanders regardless, though. I think with that short week for the Raiders, Mariota I trust as a backup.
Extra rest for Washington.
Extra rest for
rest for the Raiders.
It's the nightmare rest situation.
East Coast early, travel.
All of that.
It's all of it. It's the worst for the Raiders. Steelers at Patriots. Steelers are 1.5-point favorites. I want nothing to do with this game. Nothing.
It would be, I think I'm probably going to play Patriots in millions. It's Patriots or nothing here for me. I just don't know what you've seen. I mean, the Steelers' defense has been bad these first couple weeks. I don't really know how we get to them being the 1.5 favorite on the road. I'm not saying this is way off, and I've got a ton of confidence in the Patriots. I just don't know how the Steelers are a road favorite at this point.
Bengals at Vikings. Browning, Wentz, Bengals, Vikings on CBS. Sunday morning. Bengals are +3. This has stayed at 3 all week. I have the +3.5. I bought it to +3.5 during guessing lines on the Bengals. That's my bet. Don't have it in millions because it's not with the hook, right? Had to buy that for a bet, but it's not a millions play for me.
That's kind of funny because I actually think it's still going to end up as a millions play for me, and I haven't bet it actually. Yeah. Whatever the FOMO, fear of missing out. There's a reverse of that with betting, right? Where like I stared at that number for days, where it was like, okay, it's 4, 3.5, 3. Never bet it, and you're like, okay, well now it's 3. I don't want to bet it.
Texans, Jaguars, AFC South clash, early season clash with the Jaguars, also the Jaguars, -1.5-point favorites. You've got the Texans in teasers, no?
Texans I did include yesterday. Added another one with the Packers. Texans up to 7.5 with the Pack. Tease that side up, and then I will be I think I'll be playing Texans in millions as well.
Man, Texans Packers I think is my favorite teaser leg, though I have not bet that yet. New Orleans Saints afternoon game. Saints at the Seahawks. Seahawks now a 7-point favorite, no longer 7 and a hook. Seahawks 7-point favorites, a very popular. I think this will be the single most popular survivor play because there is no other natural spot to play Seattle later. No future value. So this is the spot to play them. What could go wrong?
What could go wrong, Gil? No bet for me. Look, Seattle's got some injuries. They're working through, too. This is not perfect, but I'm shoving, man. The Survivor, it is all in on Seattle. Hope give me some of that Cowboys luck from last week.
I might, too, but it is not the optimal way to play because I think most will be on it.
Yeah.
Chargers -2.5 hosting the Broncos, a early season AFC West battle. I bet the Chargers, and the Chargers are one of my millions plays.
Okay. Completely understand it. We're slightly oppo. I teased up the Broncos, but there's still plenty of points I could land in between.
All right. Also in the afternoon, Cowboys at the Bears. Ho, 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 what a barn burner. Cowboys favored by 1 now at Soldier Field.
Yeah, this will be one of two games that make or break my week. That Packers side obviously has to get through, and then I am heavily invested in the over on this game at 48.5 on the open. But, man, there's 50.5. There's still only one way I could play it, and that's over. Both these defenses are
First
terrible.
stop wins.
Yeah, for real.
50.5 is the number there. Sunday night football. Oh, no, one more afternoon. Pardon me. Arizona at San Francisco. 2 undefeateds in the NFC West, where it appears that Brock Purdy's going. He's been.
I don't trust Shanahan at all.
I don't either. He's been practicing all week, apparently.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know.
He's been out there for a couple practices.
Okay.
Yes. I don't know how much though. That's always like they showed him off to the media portion.
Yeah.
You don't know how much else he did.
All right. We'll do the primetime games on the other side, and Paul Carr for a little international football, otherwise known as football. Premier League plays. We had no Champions League plays from him this week, though.
Champions.
What was that all about?
It's my fault. I'm just a terrible producer and guest booker.
Just the number one champion. Coming back, numbers game, VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
As sports fans, we may cheer for different teams, but there's one thing that we can all agree on. We want the game to be big. And with 3 levels, 30 cabanas, a 143-foot screen, 6 clean pools, and endless cold drinks, it doesn't get any bigger or any better than Stadium Swim in Las Vegas. All sports, all seasons, it's more than a pool deck. Stadium Swim is the only thing like it in the world.
Join the guru, John Hansen, at the intersection of prop betting and fantasy sports on Prop Points, only on VSiN.
And shout out to Elijah Moore as well. Oftentimes he's Elijah less. Keep in mind, Sean Payton is evil for fantasy football.
John and his guests will help you find the connection between the two and give you his expert advice on how to capitalize when a number is too good to pass up. Prop Points, weekdays at 1 p.m. Eastern on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Numbers Game on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
The NFL season rolling along, and every game brings new opportunities to cash in if you've got the right insights, of course. With VSiN Pro, you'll see real-time DraftKings and Circa betting splits so you know where the public and sharps are putting their money. Pair that with a daily email recapping all the best bets from our show hosts and guests, nonstop live video on the VSiN Watch app, and proven betting systems at VSiN.com, and you'll have the tools to stay ahead every week. Start betting smarter today for just $9.99 or save 50% with an annual plan. Visit VSiN.com/subscribe. That's VSIN.com/subscribe. Still to come, Football Fridays. Fezzik, Falika, Dr. Bob, Paul Carr about to join us for a little Premier League.
Yep.
Last two games for the weekend before we get to Paulie. Chiefs at Giants Sunday night. Chiefs a 6-point favorite now at the New York Giants. Totals at 45. The proverbial must-win situation for the Kansas City Omaha Chiefs, who do not want to fall to 0-3. Because you fall to 0-3, you do not make the playoffs. Kind of how it works. Not touching.
I got absolutely nothing.
Not survivor, not nothing.
Yeah, lean to the under. If I made you, I've had fun playing this game this week because this game is brutally tough, I think. If I made you play a side, who'd you play?
Giants +6.
Me too.
Monday night, Lions at Ravens. Ravens are 4.5-point favorites. This, too, was a millions play for me on the Ravines.
Yeah, me too. That's a bet for me. Will be a millions play for me as well. Ravens, I'm interested to see this game. I think the Lions are still going to be one of the better teams in the NFC, but, man, Ravens, that squad is so solid put together right now.
Yeah.
Its numbers come down, though. Numbers come down.
So in addition to the guessing lines plays that I made, I added the Rams, I added the Chargers -2.5, Rams +3.5, Ravens -4.5 as bets as well for all. Let's talk some Premier League, but before we do, he is a Miami Dolphins fan, so I'd be remiss if I didn't ask him about his team, which of course fell to 0-3 last night at Buffalo. It's Paul Carr from True Media Networks. You can follow him on Twitter at, get this clever handle, Paul Carr, C-A-R-R. How you doing, Paul?
Yeah, I came up with that one myself, Gil.
Yeah, well done. Well done.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm surprised you were the only one, actually. What about
I wasn't
your
originally, actually. Somebody else had it, and he's quit Twitter, and I got it from him. And
oh,
it was
nice.
That mine was the same way.
The Spanky story is still the best with that one, where he's like, what's it worth to you? He's let the guys talk first. He's like, all right, I'll do it.
Mine was like Paul's, though. Like, I don't know how in 2010 Kelly Bidlin was taken, but somehow like Matt Brown figured out in 2018 it was back alive. So I got it.
Yeah. Paul, your Dolphins 0-3, though they comported themselves kind of nicely last night. How do you feel about it?
Yeah. So the optimistic fan side of me says, hey, they look like a real team last night. That's progress. And their upcoming schedule, like the next couple games, Jets and Panthers, then Chargers, Browns, Falcons. It's like that's not, 4 of those games are going to be roughly toss-ups.
Gotta win a couple of those, right?
That's the problem. They almost have to go 4-1. There's pretty much no margin for error because their next 3 after that are Baltimore, Buffalo, Washington.
Whoops.
Before it gets a little easier. So yeah, there's just zero margin for error the rest of the way, which is not the thing you want to be saying after 3 games.
Yeah, home Jets at Panthers, and then 2 weeks later at Browns. But everything else is Chargers at Falcons, Ravens, Bills, Commanders is in Spain, and then a bye week 12. So yeah,
right.
Yeah,
and the end isn't terrible, but again,
then,
right. You lost a home game to New England, which definitely should have been a win. You lost against smoked by the Colts. That was kind of a coin flip type of game. So there's just already no margin for error for a team that didn't have a lot to begin with from an on the field standpoint. If Tua gets hurt or the defense can't do something, things like that. So there's just not much margin for error the rest of the season, and it's way too early to be saying that.
Did you want McDaniels to get fired?
I mean, I don't really see what good would it do other than what good would it do? I mean, you're not going to hire the guy who's going to take over next season in all likelihood. You hire a new guy. I don't think it makes much difference as far as like, are you tanking for a number 1 pick type of thing? I don't think that matters much. So I'm not against it, but I don't see much reason to do it. There's just not a lot of upside. I think there's more upside if you keep him and on the off chance they can make a run through a relatively soft schedule than if you fire him and kind of start from scratch.
Let's get to international football, soccer as we call it, football as they call it in other parts of the world. First, Champions League this week. Did you not make any plays in the Champions League?
I went 6-0. You guys didn't get those picks?
No, we didn't. What happened? No, nothing?
No.
No.
I had a few. This league phase is really weird. It's the second year they've done it where it's just one giant table of 36 teams, and you're never quite sure how serious teams are going to take it, especially early when 24 of those 36 advance. So I had a few plays, but I'm pretty cautious early on when the games mean a little bit less.
All right, to the Premier League. We do have plays, and that is Paul Carr looks to move the chains once again with the weekend plays. One on Saturday. It is a total.
Yeah, we're going to Liverpool-Everton. I'm taking the under 2.5. I've probably done this half a dozen times on your show over the years in this matchup. It's a rivalry game. This is like the Ravens-Steelers type. If I'm comparing it to an NFL rivalry, and those games always seem to be like 1917. This is a tight type of rivalry. Their stadiums are very close to each other in Liverpool, and they played twice last year, 1-0. One game was actually 2-2, but the underlying numbers were far less than that. So Everton is just going to keep it tight also. That's what David Moyes, their manager, does. Tries not to give up a lot of good chances. They're giving up the 4th worst shots in the league, so that's good from a defensive perspective. Liverpool's in first place. They're unbeaten. They've won all their games, but they really haven't been that good. They've stolen some points, and they look good, but not like undefeated, run away with the league type of good. So I like under 2.5 here. Everton keeps it close. Liverpool's attack has not been as good as the results would indicate.
Yeah, Liverpool, the only undefeated, undrawn team, if you will, in the Premier League. Liverpool, 12 points through 4 games, the max that you can get, with a 3-point lead over Arsenal and the rest of the field. By the way, Everton themselves in 6th currently in the early stages of a 38-match Premier League season, to Sunday, where I believe it's our first ever appearance by Sunderland in a bet. Is that true?
It might be.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. I don't think I had them. Wow. Well, they've been out of the Premier League for a few years. Yeah. So I have Sunderland, Aston Villa, both teams to score no, -110. So, Gil, there are in the top 7 leagues in England. That's basically all the ones that are professional or close to it. There are 164 teams. There is one team that has not scored yet this season. It is Aston Villa. Wow. And that's not good. No goals in 4 games.
I'm told that's not good.
Not great.
Yeah.
Told it's not good, yeah. Sunderland has 4 goals, but they only average about 8 shots a game, so they're not in attacking minutes either. So these are 2 of the bottom 3 teams in the league in expected goals, in shot quality, and again, Sunderland's taken the fewest shots in the league. So both of these teams trying to figure it out. Sunderland trying just to stay in the league. They're off to a decent start, but the underlying numbers suggest that they're due for some regression already. So I haven't seen anything from either of these teams that suggests they're going to turn into any kind of attacking juggernaut. So both teams to score no, -110. I don't know which one will scrape out a goal and win this one 1-0, if anything, but I don't think both of them will get a goal.
By the way, for the American sports fan, and I'm raising my hand, can you give me the 7 leagues from Premier League on down? What are the other 6?
Premier League, Championship, League 1, League 2, National League, and then National League, I think it's North and South.
Wow.
I just want to point out I could have gotten the top 4.
You could have gotten the top 4?
I could have, yeah.
I always mess up the second one. What's it called?
Championship.
Championship.
Yeah.
That's just
not the
word.
Champions League.
No,
the championship.
Just championship.
Yeah.
The championship.
Makes no
right.
sense. Hey, Paul, real quick, what was the average amount of shots in a on goal from a side in a Premier League game?
Shots on goal. Let me see. I might have that up here right actually.
I know you mentioned that
you're looking at like in the 12 to 15 range, somewhere in there for an average team. So if you're looking at you're 50% or less.
What about the worst offensive teams? How many shots on goal do they get off in a full soccer match?
Yeah, so I'm looking like so far this season. So Burnley has the fewest. They have 30 in 4 games. So you're looking at 7.5 a game. So that's usually about where you're going to end up.
That's where the American sports fan sensibility just goes crazy. It's like, really? The 7.5 a game for a full soccer game? That's all they're getting on goal.
Right.
All right.
That's just shots, period.
Yeah, it's just shots, period.
Yeah.
Oh, shot, not even on goal. Sunderland, Aston Villa, both teams to score no, meaning he believes there will be a shutout or a 0-0 tie. That's how you win that one. And then finally, Arsenal and Man City, I guess the game of the week.
Yeah, big one.
Yeah, this is a big one. I think Arsenal's looked the best of any team so far this year. They're in second with 9 points. Their defense has pretty much picked up where it left off the last year or two, the best in the league. Given up the second fewest expected goals, lowest shot quality so far. And Arsenal's played City well the last couple seasons. 2-2 draw last year, even though Arsenal was down a man. And then Arsenal won 5-1 in the other one. That was one of those games where everything goes in. They scored on 5 goals on 12 shots. But Man City, I picked them to win the title. Their defense has not gotten any better. It's still kind of a mess. So I think Arsenal is going to be able to pick it apart, get a goal or two, and then do what they do and defend and not give up a lot to City, who's also battling injuries. So I like Arsenal just to win this one outright, -110 at home.
Yeah, Man City 2-2 to start the season. A 3-pack of plays for Paul Carr. And again, VSiN subscribers, we'll have that all on the VSiN Picks page for you as well. Paul, thank you. I hope the Dolphin season gets better, man. That's all I can say.
Me too. Got to beat the Jets next week. Hate the Jets.
A proverbial must-win situation.